So I want to talk about SSSniperwolf for a minute, specifically SSSniperwolf and her fans. Because surprisingly, after all this happened, after she blew off a terminally ill child for days, okay? A terminally ill child for days. She finally made it right. And everything is all good now. Her fans are calling other people haters. They're like, well, she's a busy person. She has, you know, all this different stuff. First of all, my whole issue is that I would have respected her more if she just would have declined. In some ways. Because at least she would have been honest. Yes, she still would have been a piece of garbage. But she would have been honest. But the fact that this took literally days before she decided to do it, she kept, postponing it, this, that, and the third, and people are going at the mom like, oh, well, she was impatient. She was impatient. Her child is dying. I don't understand. How does anybody in their right mind sit there and say that the mom was being impatient? Are you kidding me? For some odd reason, this child is a huge fan of SSSniperwolf. You know, the girl that makes content off of, well, pretty much other people's content. Don't get me wrong, I've done a couple of videos myself, so I'm not sitting there really going at her about that. But, I mean, when you make an entire library of other people's content, that's an entirely different thing, but whatever. The point is, I don't get what's so special about her at all. Besides her looks, I don't really understand what people are fans about her. Like, why she has so many fans. But, whatever. My point is that her fans see all this. See her blow off a terminally ill child. And somehow are just like, well, Keemstar's a piece of poo. This, that, and the third. They're blowing it all out of proportion. First of all, regardless of how you may think about Keemstar, regardless if you feel that he milked this for drama, okay, maybe he might have. But you know what? Here's the thing. The facts are still the same. Regardless if you think that he milked it for drama or not, the facts are still the same. She's an entitled woman who blew off a terminally ill child because she was too busy living her life, and she'll get around to it whenever, whenever. And here's the thing that I've noticed about YouTube, social media, whatever. It doesn't matter if you are an amazing person. You can get respect either way. If you're an amazing person, you get respect. If you are a piece of garbage, you can get respect. Guess what category SSSniperwolf falls under? And yet, the people still somehow love this girl. Love this entitled woman. And by the way, I went on her page and like she wrote a little, because I sit there and find it on Twitter. That she wrote a response, she posted up what she did, and I guess you could sit there and say, hey, listen, I did it, so you guys can leave me alone now. Because when I went on her YouTube page, she did not sit there and talk about it at all. It's almost like she just said, alright, well, it is what it is, and I'm just going to move on from it. And every other videos after that, it's like, whatever. I mean, in some ways, I don't even know exactly what I was expecting. I don't know if I was expecting an apology or her to sit there and just address it, make a video about it, address it, be like, hey, my bad, I understand that, she was terminally ill, I just had a couple of things, something. No, she writes a stupid little Twitter post, and then she makes a bunch of her other dumb videos, and just kind of just la, just going about life like it's just all good. And her idiotic fans are the people, it's almost as though, the reason why her fans piss me off is because her fans, they enable her type of behavior. They normalize it. They normalize this girl being an entitled piece of garbage, and they say, well, they're just haters. sometimes I have to sit there and look at this and think, well, how old are these fans? Because if they're, and I'm not sitting there bashing anyone for their age. I understand that maturity. You could be 14, you could be mature than someone who is 30. But I have to sit there and look at this and wonder how old they are, because I don't think that her fans are the type of people that really grasp the situation. They don't really understand that this woman literally had days to live, because to them the only thing that's really important in life is like TikTok and her. And so they trivialize it and just think, well, you know, they're just blown out of proportion. They're just a bunch of stupid haters. They don't really sit there and take the gravity situation that the only thing that this little girl wanted was to sit there and talk to her idol. That her mother, that they're calling impatient, is literally losing their child. You know, it's something that's just really upsetting about that balance, that you should never outgrow your child. You should never outgrow your child. And I don't really feel like people understand that. They're just sitting there thinking that people are being negative and toxic and this, that, and the third. No, we're not being negative and toxic. We're literally sitting there calling out this girl, because I refuse to call her a woman, calling out this girl for acting like an entitled brat. And we're calling out her fans, because how dare any single one of them, every one of them that are coming at the mom snit there saying that she's impatient? Are you kidding me? These are people that don't have kids. Okay? They don't have kids. So it's very easy to sit there and call the moms a bunch of names and sit there and saying she's impatient, she's, you know, this, that, and the third. They don't have kids. How would they know, how would they even begin to understand the gravity of how the mother's feeling? So, you know, this video isn't just about SSSniperwolf, because, I mean, she's probably been a piece of garbage for a very long time. And in a lot of ways, I guess I wouldn't expect anything less than her, than what she did. But it's about the fans that enable that type of behavior. The people that could sit there and say, well, I'm still a proud fan of hers. Are the same people that could sit there and say, well, I don't care what they say, I'm still a proud fan of Shane Dawson. Are just as bad, if not worse, because they see that type of behavior and they normalize it and they think that that stuff is okay. So in a lot of ways, her fans are actually almost even worser than her. I know this is a couple of days ago, and I'm kind of reacting to it like, well, a couple of days ago. But it's just something that just really pissed me off. And when I went on her page, she didn't even sit there and make a video about it. I mean, hell, for all the crap that they give Pokimane, at least she actually addressed some of the stuff that was being criticized about her. I mean, granted, she went on to do whatever stuff that she did, but at least she did that. And not Alinity. Invader V. Invader V, I made a video a while back about her meltdown and her, you know, e-begging and shaming people and stuff like that. Now, she made a video about it where she addressed it, she apologized. It was a very piss-poor apology, but I can't tell if it was very piss-poor or it's just her personality that's just very, like, fake. But at least she addressed it. This dum-dum decided to make a little Twitter about it where she practically defends her garbage-ass actions and then start making videos as though like nothing ever happened. So it's really sad because I don't have a high opinion of Invader V. Pokimane kind of goes up and down, but it's sad when I actually respect them a little bit more than her. And it's not really a high bar for them, so that's really saying something. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Hopefully I could just kind of put this to bed until she, hopefully she doesn't do anything else. I could be like, wow. But I think it's kind of hard to top this one. I know that she's probably been in a lot of different controversies, whatever. But I feel like this one might actually be her worst. And unfortunately, this is one of those things where it's going to get swept under the rug. It's going to be years later on, and you know, people are going to be like, well, it was so long ago. You mean it was really long ago when she decided to blow off a terminally ill patient, a terminally ill patient little girl? I feel like something like that should kind of just stick with you. I mean, I don't believe in cancel culture, but that, wow. Anyway, with that being said, I'm going to go. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Yeah.